last night I opened for Pauly Shore's one-man show, and next week I'll be at the Wiltern Theater with Dice.
And then the week after.
And, well, I mean, but if this was 1989, I'd have a real career here. But unfortunately, it's 2023.
That's all right.
Me and you will be at the Soul Joel's, right?
But Jimmy
Schubert, Two-Bit Schubert.
I love Schubert.
Jimmy Two Shoes. So good. He would come in the kitchen of the Comedy Store. This was my favorite days when I was waiting tables. And Schubert would come and he'd go, "Hey, Ellen, how's your melon smelling?"
He was a fun guest. He did the show.
Yeah, he was quick.
Oh,
he
was
made
so
me
funny,
laugh
Dom.
so hard.
I never worked with him before. I can't wait.
You will die. If there's like a shitty crowd, when I remember, like, if I'm waiting tables and they're not getting the response they want out of the crowd, right? And there are sometimes shitty crowds, and he, what do you people want? What do you people want? You want sock puppets? And he'd take his shoe off, he'd put a sock, and he'd do this whole fucking thing. I'm like, that is pure commitment to, I'm going to get a fucking laugh no matter what. You son of a bitches. And he would crush. He would, like, break it. It was so good. So good. That's why I wouldn't let him sleep with any of the waitresses, because I didn't want to lose him.
Did you sleep with him?
No. I put him on a list.
Mitzi did.
Well, that's one time I did the during the pandemic, we did Mitzi's 90th birthday, like just to celebrate, because unfortunately she was passed by then. So we did her 90th birthday, and it was during the pandemic, and I had Schubert and Holtzman. You did it too. You did the early one with Harry Basil, and it was like a Zoom one we called in. It was during the pandemic. And so then...
You remember this?
Yeah, you did the early version, and then I had like Roberta Kent and just a bunch of people. Like
you set it up? Yeah,
I tried to do like cover all the decades, you know. I had Sean Pulaski, Argus Hamilton, like just people that were comedy store. So I got Schubert and Holtzman. They were on at the end though. So Schubert was drinking with his girlfriend at home, so he was like a little bit lit up, and Holtzman's just Holtzman, so he's like, hey, Schubert used to sleep with Mitzi Shaw, you know. He brings that up immediately, and then he's like, I think he's got some of her used underwear for sale, and Schubert just runs over with underwear, and he's like, yeah, I'll be selling that at the end. You should smell these things, they're great. So they're just like, it's her 90th birthday, she's passed, they're just talking about her pussy. I'm like, oh my god. So then the next day Peter calls me, Peter Shore, and he goes, that was so great last night. And I went, oh, did you just watch the beginning? You know, I'm sweating. I'm like, you didn't watch the whole... He goes, yeah, me and my kids watched the whole thing. I'm like, the whole thing? The whole thing. I mean, because they went in on her. They were... Schubert was so good. It's online. You can watch it.
Did people mess with her when she was like alive?
Of course.
Was she, like...
But you had to be really funny to get away with it. Dom could do it.
I used to pick her up. You know, she was much lighter at the time, and
she was tiny. She was tiny.
Yeah, she was
put me down. This is you can't have more fucking spots, Dom. So she lost all her power, you know.
She loved Dom.
Unbelievably, yeah. That was her baby.
You got passed right away, right? As soon as you moved out here.
Well, what happened was before she knew me. I was what's that TV show? Star something.
Star Search.
Yeah.
I did that, and when I came back, I did a spot at the store, and she gave me immediately passed me. I'm thinking, wow, this is great, you know. And I go back to New York. How did you know? I passed it one shot. One shot. You know, what's the regular room guy?
Yeah, original room or paid regular.
I got that too. It was so cool. Go about 2 weeks later, and I had to audition again. She forgot who I was.
Wait, did you pass the second one?
Yeah, Gary Shandling was in the room, and he knew me somehow, and he was talking to her because people wouldn't talk to her when she was watching other people. So it wasn't fair, you know.
Yeah, they would kind of distract her if another comic was on.
Especially a strong comic.
Did anybody strong?
They were mean. Comics were nasty to one another. They would do that a lot, like hurt somebody's showcase.
Did anybody strong not get past the first time they...
Hell yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Who comes to mind?
Louis C.K.
Burr,
So-
too.
Crushed.
We were talking about Burr last night. It was
Well,
Burr.
Burr, I don't remember his actual showcase, but I remember that he did showcase, and she passed on him, and I was like, no, that guy's great. And,
What's this, in the 90s?
This is like pre-internet. Obviously, this is the 90s, so it was like, but he would come in town and do like produced shows, or I remember seeing him in the original room, but it was probably on a Monday or a Sunday, on the potluck night, and so she just wasn't into him. And then one night, him and Kathleen Madigan are on stage in the main room, and she goes, "These two are terrific." And I'm like, "We've been telling you."
Oh, so
But
so
she
he,
saw them in a different.
Yeah.
I don't.
he got passed by accident. Like
he
didn't do
got-
a traditional.
Not the traditional showcase your past, but Louis was crushing, and I guess after his set, I don't. She used to hand in the paper and she'd cross out the names, or she'd write "okay" next to it, and so like a little check, and so we knew I would put it in this thing, and the talent coordinator would take it.
She wouldn't tell them. She let somebody do it for her.
The talent coordinator would call them.
Oh, she would never specifically say
Sometimes,
you were wonderful.
if she really liked you, if she pulled you over, it was like Carson getting pulled over to the couch, right?
Wow.
Otherwise, you just walked out, and the talent
How'd
coordinator
it go
would call
for
you.
you? What-
Well, I had a showcase 3 times.
She worked there a lot longer as
It took me 3 years to get in, but I only got 3
What
showcases.
was her reaction when you said you wanted to be a comic? Do you remember what she said?
At first, because I told her I was going to be I was doing a 1-woman show, and she goes, "Oh, that's great. You could do it in the belly room. It's perfect." And I was like, "Okay." So I was doing that, and then Andrew came to see it, and he was like, "You're doing stand-up, stupid," because he's a charmer, and so he took me on the road. And at the time, me and Andrew had a show on VH1 called Dice Undisputed, his reality show. So he was like, let's just, ride that wave. But at that point, it was oversaturated. Nobody was really watching. But whatever, it was fine. So I went on the road with him. And then I started doing stand-up. So I was like, well, I better showcase for Mitzi so she don't get mad at me. And I did. And I walked out I was walking in the parking lot when she was walking to her car.
After your set.
Yeah. And Tommy was walking, the old town coordinator was walking her to her car. And she goes, "What you're doing is cute, honey." Now, 9 times out of 10, I take that as a shot. But from Mitzi, that was a good thing.
Yeah? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She wasn't being mean. She was like, you're on the right
So
track.
you knew you were passed.
No, I wasn't passed.
Oh, she
I
just
still
thought you
had
were
to
getting
grow.
good.
It took me another 2.5 years to get in.
Wow.
But she had some confidence in you that you were
she
on
said
the right
you're
track.
on the right track,
I
basically.
never asked you, opening for Dice, like, did you, like, any bad nights?
You're kidding,
No,
right?
no, that's serious. Because every time I seen you open for him, you crushed it.
When
Like, do any stories come up, like any sets that you recall, like being in this city?
Didn't I tell this one on here?
No.
So-
the first time I'm ever asking you that.
But I think I've told you, Dom, how awful.
I wasn't paying attention.
Naturally.
Remember she tried to get me to look more Italian?
should I whip a tit out or something?
She had these...
Who? Oh, you? Yeah. She wanted...
You got to be more Italian.
Dominic's Pizzeria.
Yeah. I got an idea for a really good sitcom. Dom, you a pizza place. It's called Dom's Pizza, right? And different people come in and they're like celebrities and they're funny, and that's the show.
It was called Dom's Pizza?
Dominic's Pizzeria.
Yeah.
I read the treatment.
I said they
hilarious.
It was funny.
It was good. She was way ahead of her time. Like, but she'd do those little shorts like Bugsy and Meter Maids, and they turned that stuff into porn now. But it was good.
Would you listen to her, Dom, when she would tell you to
She
dress?
should have been a
Well, if
wrestling
she was
manager.
there, I'd wear her shirt.
She should have been a wrestling manager. Like she was like more like Vince McMahon. Do you know what I mean? Like she wanted the character-y thing because it worked in the 80s. It did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was she always right? Like, did she ever pass
No.
somebody where people are just
Hiram
like,
Caston. Remember what she did to him?
Who?
Hiram Caston. Do you know him?
No, I don't, but I've seen some bad ones come through
Where is
and
he
leave
from,
quick.
Dom? New York.
Oh.
Tell him to go back to New York.
She made you deliver the message.
Yeah.
One time we were walking, we were, after her showcases, she gives me her paper. Me and Freddie Soto standing with her in the hallway. She loved Freddie. She used to have Freddie host all the showcases because he was really likable and could get the room going. And so me and Freddie are walking her to her car. She gave me all her papers. As we're like walking out, this kid came over. You could see like his hopes and dreams, you know, on a little stick. Like he just got off the bus, and he's like, "Hey, Mitzi, I thank you for the showcase. And do you have any like advice for me?" And she just like stopped dead, and she looked at him. And she's like, "I don't encourage mediocre talent." And she did the wave. She always did the wave. And me and Freddie were just like, oh my God, like melting behind her. And we just walked her out. And the kid, you could see the kid just, everything just wiped out of his body. I never saw him again. Wow. But it's hard. But that's how she would talk. She wasn't going to mince words and be like, you'll be fine. You know, she didn't care.
And she was from LA?
No.
Is
no,
she
she's
New York
Wisconsin.
Oh, really?
We were talking about it the other night. Her
That's
husband,
where we get the accent. Get it?
was it Elvis?
Mm-hmm.
Her
Sammy.
husband was on the road with Elvis. How cool was that?
Sammy Shore was on the road with Elvis Presley. And apparently, and I heard this story, somebody interviewed Sammy Shore, like, because they thought he was such an interesting character.
He was,
and like, truly, like, every time he had his shot, if you will, something awful would happen. Like he had his shot to be on the Ed Sullivan show, and then somebody really famous died. So the news just took
Dedicated
everybody. And you know what I mean? Like anytime he had his big shot, like he's opening for Elvis, and somebody in Elvis's camp was like, you know what you should do? You should start your own show in a smaller room in the Hilton, and then they can come see you and then see you with that. So he did it. And then Elvis fired him. So it was like, I don't want.
Well, I didn't know that.
He apparently, my friend Rich interviewed him, and he told that story. I was like, oh my God, is that true? That's awful. Like I've never heard that before.
He just threw the keys to her as a settlement.
He had to. She was crazy. She hired Marvin Mitchelson.
Did she really?
Yeah.